I've been kind of challenged or like wondering if a 2011 has less recoil than, say, a Shadow 2 or a plastic polymer gun. So I'm going to set up a test here. I've got 3 targets. I've got an aim and reference down low on all of them, so I can make sure I catch the height of that the gun rises to. And I'm going to do something called measurement drill for each one of these guns. My procedure here is on the random beep. I'm going to aim at the spot down low and fire 1 shot. And then I'm going to put no input into the gun aside from trying to hold it as firm as possible, and then fire a 2nd shot where the gun ends up in recoil. See, there's a pretty consistent group that's actually way better than I expected. When you start going to guns that are harder to hold on to, like I thought about doing a Glock 48, I would not expect to be able to do this. This group's going to open up because the gun's harder to hold on to. Okay, next up, this is a CDZ P10. This is my preferred striker gun if I shoot striker gun. It is stock. It doesn't have any weight added to it. Same ammunition across all 3 guns. Okay, you can see a little bit of a worse result as far as how high the guns come, how high and the dispersion of the shots, and that's just because it's a little bit more inconsistent than something like a Shadow 2. All right, next up is this, I think, Staccato P, 4 1/4 inch. I'm not completely sure. It's borrowed from a friend. He's a big 2011 connoisseur, and he did note that he thinks this is a softer shooting one compared to Atlas guns. So we will find out. All right, have a little bit of a result here. You can see the Shadow 2 cold. This is the first gun I shot. Went from the Delta line there up to right about at the A zone. The P10 went up maybe averaging the top of the Alpha line, and the 2011, I would say that's averaging a little lower than the Shadow 2, which from my experience shooting 2011s, it seems to recoil a little less than a Shadow 2. We're gonna go to shoot doubles next. I decided I wanted one more swing at the 2011 on measurement drill. I think I could tighten this up a little bit, give it a little bit more representative of like a realistic result or a better average. All right, only got 3. You can see it's a lot better. The average is even lower than where I had it before. So yeah, that shows, in my opinion, from what I can see and what I can feel, 2011 recoil is a little bit less than Shadow 2, which means when you get a little bit less height and it's tighter up here, it's easier to get it consistently to come back down and have a more consistent doubles group. If you don't have to move it as far and where it stops is consistent, it's a little bit better to keep this group down here tight when you're shooting pairs. All right, we're going into doubles. I've moved the reference mark down here into the lower A zone, so when I put this camera behind the back, you should have a pretty clean sheet of what's coming through so you can see what's happening on all three of them here. I'm going to do 2 rounds of 8, so 2 sets of 4 on each gun. This is going to lean really heavy to the Shadow 2 because that's what I'm used to. So I will start with the Shadow 2, and maybe towards the end that will help aid the others, just like getting my vision a little bit better. But we'll start with the Shadow 2 on this target here, just like we started with, and we'll go through towards the end. That's the P10. A couple of them are really good. Maybe I should shoot this. Last but not least, 2011. This drill is a little bit subjective. There's a lot of room for error. If your vision starts drifting, you start following the dot, you start seeing these things going high, like right here. Like, that's not the gun. This is my vision following the dot. You start drifting it up. So this is a little bit subjective. The gun may or may not be easier to shoot, and just depending on how you execute the drill, the outcome might be worse. Again, first string looked freaking awesome on the 2011. Second string I just didn't execute as well. Really, I think this comes down to how you execute. If you look at them, I can screw them both up, all three of them up. Execution's key. One might be easier, this one, because of how the distance you have to return it. But really, if you're doing the right thing with your vision, I can hammer them in here on just about every gun. This one, again, this was an awesome group for measurement drill. But yeah, I can mess up any of them.